Hello everyone. Today I got three more amazing horror books that are, all three of these are out for your blood, or maybe your soul, or maybe just to give you some nightmares. They're all three really excellent books. They all three have different kinds of monsters involved, and I'm excited to share all of them with you. But first I want to remind you that I have horror books for sale, and you can find them for $1 each at the link in the description. And don't forget to check out my Patreon to help support the channel. You will get free short horror stories every month, and of course, free copies of all my future books. These two are coming up soon, and they can be yours by joining my Patreon. And of course, if you like merch, get your Horror Is My Happy Place t-shirts, long-sleeved sweatshirts, and coffee mugs at the link in the description as well. All right, let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about today is called Cuckoo by Gretchen Felker-Martin. Her other book, Manhunt, was one of my favorite books a couple of years ago, and I've been waiting for this new one from her for a long time. And sometimes you get excited about something and then it doesn't pan out, or it's not quite what you expected. I'm looking at you Star Wars fans, you know. But this one lived up to its expectations and just blew me away. This is like a cross between Invasion of the Body Snatchers and something like Stephen King's It, except it's queer. And it takes place at one of these Christian conversion camps. You know, the pray the gay away kind of dealios there. But this camp, basically the kids are kidnapped. Like, they are going against their will, and their parents just let these people come and grab them unexpectedly and take them out into the middle of the Utah desert. Nothing around for miles. They have no communication with the outside world. And as you can expect, it's a pretty grim, desolate place. They're basically used as indentured servants to this place. Very long, laborious hours spent in the sun doing very labor-intensive work. They are treated very poorly. They're not allowed to do anything other than what the people in charge want them to do. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's something in this desert. There's something hiding in this camp, something that wants more than their souls to be converted. It actually wants to take them over. And this thing is hungry and is very bloodthirsty. There is a core group of kids who make friends there. And years later, even after they've experienced these horrors in this camp, they've been kind of keeping track of what's been going on. And they see that what happened to them back when they were children is now happening again at this very camp. And now they're going to go back and try to stop this evil so others don't have to go through the terrifying things that they went through when they were at this camp. But here's the thing. Are they going to be able to do it? Because this thing seems to remember, and they are the ones that got away. So perhaps this is all a trap. Perhaps they can't stop it, and they're just going to be more food for the fodder. You have to read this one to find out exactly how it turns out, but it's very brutal. Very in your face with its themes, and I like that. Like, she does not hold back at all about the horrors, not only physically of these kind of camps, but also the very visceral horrors of the thing within the camp that wants to take over these children. And it's very horrifying. I absolutely loved it, and there's a lot going on in here that you'll want to read about, trust me. And I will leave a link below where you can pick up your copy in the description, and I highly recommend it. And next we have A Misfortune of Lake Monsters Oh, this one's coming out on July 2nd, I believe. So it's just like, a week away or something like that at the time I'm making this video. It's one you're definitely going to want to read, especially if you like, well, lake monsters. Because this is about a lake monster in a small town. But this lake monster like makes the town what it is. The small towns all around this one are dying out. Empty buildings and drug addicts everywhere and a lot of crime. But this one seems to be thriving because of its tourism, because of this lake monster they call Old Lucy. Old Lucy has been seen many times. Investigators flock just to try to get a picture, and it seems like everybody that goes there at some point has a story that they saw Old Lucy, or they have a picture or something like that. And it keeps this town in the public's attention, especially those who like cryptids. But here's the thing, Old Lucy is fake. It's absolutely not real. There's a family in town who for generations have been donning a fiberglass costume and pretending to be Old Lucy during the tourist season. They do this not necessarily to deceive people, but they do it because they want to keep their town alive, and that is the only thing, this legend of this lake monster is the only thing keeping them alive. And now there's a girl named Lemon, and she has been chosen by her family, even though she wants to leave this town. She wants to go to college and be a veterinarian. She has dreams and plans, but she is now the chosen one. She lives with her grandparents because her parents died, and we'll find out about that later in the book. But she has been chosen, and there's nothing she can do about it. She now has to don this costume and pretend to be Old Lucy, much to her chagrin. And part of keeping that secret and keeping this town alive and not disappointing her grandparents is that she can't tell the secret to anybody. She has to spread the word. She has to pretend like it's real when other people are talking about it, and do her best to promote this legend of Old Lucy, the lake monster. So even though she has some best friends, one who is a romantic interest, she can't say anything about this to anybody. But here's the thing. We're going to find out there's an actual lake monster that shows up, and it's very vicious, and it's very hungry, and it takes things right off the shoreline. But nobody believes Lemon when she tells them there's a real lake monster, not even her family. Because they think that because Old Lucy never really harmed anybody, but they think if rumor gets around that people are being eaten off this lake, then it's going to have a negative effect of driving the tourists away. Nobody will want to come there. So nobody's willing to believe that she saw and experienced an actual lake monster. So eventually secrets are going to have to be put aside, and she decides to tell her friends, and what follows is just a fantastic story about there's some secret government agencies that know about this lake monster. Their plan is to kind of just come in and destroy the whole town because they're aware these things are real, and the story is going to get twisty and turny as this core group of teens, despite nobody believing them, is trying to find a way to stop this real lake monster while going through all the rigors you have when you're going to high school like that. And it's a very good part coming of age and part horrific lake monster story, and you got the element of the secret government organization. It's just really, really good. It's got a lot of things going on, a lot of twists and turns. I absolutely love this one, and of course I highly recommend it to you. And like I said, there is a pre-order link just a week away from when I'm making this video where you can purchase your copy, and I think you should do that. And next we have Slaughterville, The Beast Within. Now this is a really interesting one because it's based on a series of board games that this author made, a bunch of pretty successful horror type board games. And he decided to write a series of novels about the things that went on in these board games. Now the book is not available for pre-order yet, but it will be very soon. But down below I will leave a link that you can visit. And if you want, you can sign up for a newsletter, and they'll let you know what's going on with the book, the release date, and all the reveals that are coming very, very soon. But I wanted to include it because I love werewolves. I absolutely love werewolves, And this is a fantastic werewolf story. I mean, this one is bloody. It's set in a small town. There's a lot of stuff out in the woods concerning a cave, the lair of where these werewolves live. It starts with the horrific death of a little girl, and our main protagonist, her sister, her and her older sister experienced this child being eaten by this monster, but of course nobody believes it was a monster. They think it was a bear or some other kind of animal. But they've had to live with that their whole lives. And her older sister decided to stay in this town called Slaughterville and decided to look for this monster, to seek it out, to get her revenge for her youngest sister. But something happened, and our protagonist is drawn back to this town, and some very bloody, brutal things are going to happen. And this book, besides being a very horrific, bloody werewolf story, which I absolutely love, also has a lot of twists and turns to it. We're going to meet some characters early, and your opinions are going to change about how you think about them by the end of the book. It's got some very it's even got more than werewolves, you know. It's got a lot of things going on. There's a house that just crumbles and disappears into the ground. There are spiders as big as like pit bulls in the woods, very vicious spiders that will come at you. And in the meantime, these two sisters trying to avenge their youngest sister's death have to face some very horrifying things if they want to get to the bottom of it and try to stop the madness in this town. Now, this is the first in a series. The next one is going to be called The Slasher. Yeah, and it's going to take place in the same world with some of the same characters, too, so be on the lookout for that. But like I said, this one is fantastic. I love a good werewolf story. This one is exciting. It's got twists and turns, and I can't do anything except for recommend it to you. It's just very, very good. And like I said, there is a link below where you can check out the page and get all the information you need about when it's going to come out and all that good stuff. And I recommend you keep your eye on it because you're definitely going to want a copy. I highly recommend it, so check out that link in the description. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.